Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome into Littlejohn Coliseum in Clemson, South Carolina. And we welcome you to the initial broadcast of the Bearcat Broadcasting Network for the 2018-19 Lander basketball season. And we kick off this afternoon with the women in action as the Lander Bearcats make the trip to Clemson to take on the Tigers out of the Atlantic Coast Conference in the Division I ranks. Hello, everyone. Rickson Lane joining you. So glad to have you with us, and welcome back basketball season here on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. Well, the Lander Bearcats, it is new faces, new team, and same expectations. The Bearcats coming off their fourth consecutive trip to the NCAA tournament and their third consecutive appearance in the Peach Belt Conference Tournament Championship game. However, it is a slew of new players on Kevin Pedersen's roster as the Bearcats hope to initiate themselves and ingrain themselves quickly into this system, and they will be tested early here by the Tigers out of the ACC. Meanwhile, for Clemson, this program hits the reset button after scuffling in the recent seasons as they make a new hire, and its head coach Amanda Butler, the former Florida Gator head coach, comes to the ACC and looks to rejuvenate this Clemson Tiger women's basketball program. And across the bench from her, Kevin Pedersen in his 14th season at the helm of the Lander Bearcats, and he was a contender for this open Clemson job before Amanda Butler ultimately was the hire the Tigers decided to go with. Kevin Pedersen, the all-time winningest coach in the history of Lander women's basketball, and this is an exhibition game he has wanted for a long time as he returns to his alma mater this afternoon to take on the Clemson Tigers. The Lander Bearcats coming into this matchup, some returning faces on this roster. Jessica Harris, the junior guard out of Sumter, South Carolina, one of the top point guards in the Peach Belt Conference last year. Ariana Sanders, the senior from Pearland, Texas, expected to take a larger role this year in her senior campaign. It's her second year here with the Bearcats. And also Tabitha Daly, a junior from Augusta, Georgia, and she and the rest of these Bearcat post players will have some big shoes to fill as Brashae Johnson, the all-time leading scorer in the history of Lander women's basketball, moves on after graduation. Brashae is in attendance this afternoon, saw her sitting just behind the scorer's table, about 2 rows deep, and she will be watching these Lander Bearcats in her first contest after graduating. And Tabitha Daly is expected to be the starter in the post for the Bearcats, and she will be very, very crucial to their success not only this afternoon but throughout this 2018-19 campaign, as the Bearcats like to run and gun, but they also like to pound the ball inside, and Tabitha Daly can expect to get a lot of touches this afternoon and throughout the rest of the season. Some new faces for you to keep an eye on. Simone Starks, a junior guard out of Lone Tree, Colorado. She's a Division I transfer from Eastern Washington, had a successful couple of seasons at the Big Sky Conference before coming down to Lander to play in the Peach Belt. Some other names to keep an eye on. Miriam Ricarte, the freshman center out of Pamplona, Spain, standing 6'2". She is the largest, tallest player on the roster for the Bearcats, getting accustomed to playing down in the post after spending a lot of her time pre-Lander as a perimeter-type player. She's going to be expected to become a 4 or a 5 potentially for the Bearcats as she grows in her freshman season. The Bearcats can also turn in the post to Michella Davis, a freshman center from Lilburn, Georgia. She's another one of these post prospects that Coach Pedersen is hoping can step in quickly, get some time, and perhaps spell Tabitha Daly throughout the season. Some other guards to keep an eye on as we move throughout the season and this afternoon. Sarah Cruz, a freshman guard from North Augusta, South Carolina. That's a young lady that Kevin Pedersen is very high on, has liked what he's seen from her in the preseason, called her a winner, and says that she brings an intensity to this team that it will desperately need throughout the season. Some other new faces: Abriana Washington, a freshman guard from West Columbia, South Carolina. Quindasia Hamilton, a freshman from Waynesboro, Georgia. Karima Jenkins, a sophomore from Charleston, South Carolina. And we will be without tonight Amaya Melvins, the sophomore from Sicklerville, New Jersey, dealing with an injury, and Coach Pedersen obviously not wanting to test it in this exhibition as the Bearcats and Tigers will play. The score will certainly be one that both teams want to come out on top in, but ultimately this does not affect the regular season standings, the NCAA tournament in any way, just trying to get some reps on both sides. But as we know, it's much more than that as Kevin Pedersen's team comes to Clemson for the first time and the return of Kevin Pedersen to his alma mater. We'll step aside for the national anthem. When we come back, we tip it off in Littlejohn Coliseum. You're listening to Bearcat Basketball on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. The Tiger Band performs the national anthem, and we are just about set to get underway as the two teams will meet at midcourt and shake hands and get ready for this exhibition contest, the Lander Bearcats and the Clemson Tigers. Starting lineup this afternoon for the Lander Bearcats, they'll go with Simone Starks, the junior from Lone Tree, Colorado. Leah McKinnon makes her return after missing the majority of last season with an ACL injury. Jessica Harris will run the point this afternoon, the junior from Sumter. Ariana Sanders, the senior from Pearland, Texas. And the post will be Tabitha Daly, the junior forward from Augusta, Georgia. So for the Bearcats, again, Starks, McKinnon, Harris, Sanders, and Daly, your starting five as Lander gets ready to get this ball game underway. Bearcats coming out this afternoon in road blue uniforms, new unis with that Adidas deal, as the Bearcats will be in the new threads this year. Blue tops and blue shorts as well. Thick gold stripe going across the shoulders, the sides, and the backs of the shorts for the Bearcats. White Lander across the front, outlined in gold, numbers in white outlined in gold as well. For the Clemson Tigers, Danielle Edwards will start in the backcourt alongside Aaliyah Collier. Simone Westbrook, a grad student from Chandler, Arizona, in the starting lineup as well. Kobe Thornton, a freshman or junior forward, from Shellman, Georgia. And Tyler Bennett, the sophomore center from Redford, Michigan, will be the post presences this afternoon for the Tigers. So again, for Clemson this afternoon in the backcourt, it's Evans, Collier, and Westbrook. Down on the block, it's Thornton and Bennett. And that's where Clemson has its largest advantage in this game, and I do mean largest, folks, as Thornton, the junior forward, stands 6'2". Tyler Bennett, the center, the sophomore, is 6'4". So 6'2" and 6'4" on the block for the Tigers. Meanwhile, for the Bearcats, Tabitha Daly at the 5 spot as Lander runs that 4-guard lineup. Daly is 5'9", so she's working at a considerable height disadvantage this afternoon against these much taller Clemson Tigers. Bearcats under head coach Kevin Pedersen, they have traditionally not had the tallest of post presences, but you got to have somebody down low that'll give you some fire and can find ways to put the ball in the basket. That's what they've had with Brashae Johnson. That's what they had with Shannon McKeever, the 1 and 2 all-time leading scorers in Lander women's basketball history. As Jessica Harris and her teammates huddle, Harris with some last-minute words to Starks, Daly, McKinnon, and Sanders. Clemson will huddle around Amanda Butler in her first season at the helm here with the Tigers. And we are just about ready to get underway here in Littlejohn Coliseum. The second time in 3 years that Lander has come into this building. The men came here 2 seasons ago for a preseason exhibition against Clemson. The women here this afternoon, and folks, as you look around the arena, I think there's more blue in here than orange. Bearcats have traveled extremely well to this contest. And we are just about ready to get underway as officials come out, and the Tigers will break their huddle. Lander will be working left to right as you're listening on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. The Tigers will be driving to the basket to our left. They'll be going towards the pep band. The Bearcats will be going away from the pep band and away from their bench towards Clemson's end of the floor. Daly will jump for the Bearcats. Thornton will jump for the Tigers. Ball in the air, and the tip won by Clemson, and they quickly go down inside. A little pump fake up and under, and a missed layup, no good, as it was missed down low on the block by Collier, the 5'10 guard. Ball knocked out of bounds, and it'll be Tiger basketball under their hoop as we're underway. 9:54 to go, first quarter. Reminder, we play 10-minute quarters here in women's basketball at the college level. Daly getting a word from the official as he was a little physical there on the inbound pass. They send it out right side to the Tigers to Collier. Collier at the free throw line. Now she'll backs out. Clint will get to their offense as Westbrook wants to drive inside with some contact, but she gets to the rim and lays it up and in, and Clemson takes a 2-0 lead. Mylea McKenna will bring it down the floor for the Bearcats on their first offensive possession of the night. She swings it to Harris on the right wing. Harris wants to go inside to Daly, but can't find an opening. Now Harris wants to drive, and she is pummeled on the baseline by Tyler Bennett, the big center for the Tigers, coming off, and she hip-checked her right into the baseline. First foul of the afternoon will go against Clemson, and that's Bennett's first. And boy, if the Bearcats can get those big post players into trouble, they might have a chance in this one. Harris will inbound from the near sideline, looking for help, and gets it out to Simone Starks. Starks being hounded very closely by Edwards as she dribbles atop the paw print. Give to McKenneth, and McKenneth will direct traffic from the top of the arc. McKenneth, hand off to Harris on the right wing. Harris want to weave all the way to the left side. Gets it to Sanders. Sanders, a deep three on the way. Off the back iron, no good. Starks took the rebound away from Clemson, but then lost it out of bounds as Collier will come up with it, and the Tigers will inbound. Collier had it in her hand. Starks ripped it away and then lost her footing, and it ricocheted off her leg. Bearcats set up in their full court pressure. Tigers able to break it as they get to Edwards on the near side. Edwards trapped by Sanders and McKenneth. Now they go inside, dish inside, and a block made by Simone Starks as she rejected Tyler Bennett. The 6'4 center has her shot swatted by the much smaller Starks. Now the Bearcats in transition, and the ball knocked out of bounds. Clemson knocks it away as Harris tried to dish inside to Daly. So Lander will set up and inbound from the baseline to the right of the rim. They go up top, McKenneth. McKenneth, straightaway three on the way, off the front rim, and rebounded by Thornton. Thornton wants to push it, throws it away. Starks with the interception. Playing deep safety there in the full court press. Sanders pumps on the three line, and she traveled, got a little too excited as she got a defender up in the air, wanted to drive baseline, but took an extra step. Turnover back to Clemson, 2-0 Tigers on top with 8:46 to go in the first quarter. Tigers want to throw it deep, and they find an outlet in Collier, and Collier beats McKenneth for the layup, 4-0. McKenneth was trying to run with her, and now the inbound goes to Harris, and Harris being guarded very closely by Edwards. Edwards looks like Clemson's best perimeter defender in the early minutes of this one. 8:30 to go first quarter. Lander down 4-0. Bounce pass backdoor to Starks. Starks way too strong on the layup attempt, and a fight for the loose ball. It comes out to Clemson. Clemson going to throw it away as they try to get the outlet to Collier, and Edwards hurled it into the Bearcat, or in the Tiger bench rather, and Lander will have possession with 8:21 to go in the first quarter. They'll inbound in front of Clemson's bench. Bearcats trying to get something going offensively here, still looking for their first point of the afternoon. To the Tigers. A couple of early turnovers have hurt the Bearcats in this one. Daly did a nice job to try to go with the reverse layup, but just lost the handle. And now Clemson will inbound against this Bearcat press. Ball swings to Westbrook. Westbrook feints left, now goes right, drives, and hits the layup. Clemson will take the 6-0 lead now. Harris looking for help. Gets it on the right side to Starks. Starks skip past to Sanders. 15 on the shot clock. 7:40 to go first quarter. Harris drive, baseline jumper off the iron, and rebounded by Bennett. Bearcats can't get one to fall here. Now Clemson in transition. They'll hand it off, and the missed layup no good. Sanders with some defense there against Thornton in transition, and now the Bearcats running the other way. 4-on-2. Sanders pull-ups up free throw line. Hits off the front of the rim, no good. And now the Tigers want to go back the other way. Back and forth these two teams go. Hurley, they go inside to Bennett, and Bennett going to trip over Simone Starks. Bennett, a reckless drive there, and just happened to clip Starks' foot. And Starks will be called for the foul. First foul of the afternoon against the Bearcats. A 6-0 Tiger lead with 7:16 to go, and they're going to call that a shooting foul. And Allison Bennett to the free throw line. Tyler Bennett, the sophomore from Redford, Georgia. Early on in this one, Simone Westbrook with 4 points to lead all scorers. As the first free throw off the back of the rim. Clemson about to go to the bench now. They're set to sub in Taylor Hosendove, freshman forward from Atlanta. She stands 6'1". Miriam Ricarte will check in for the Bearcats. Second free throw up and good, and the Tigers take a 7-0 lead. So Bennett will come out, and Hosendove will check in. Ricarte into the game for Lander, as she will take the place of, looks like Mylea McKinnon going to come out. So Daly and Ricarte both in, as Daly's inbounds pass swatted out of bounds by Thornton. That's 6'2" Kobe Thornton trying to guard the inbound against 5'9" Tabitha Daly, and this is where Lander's biggest deficiency is. Just not a lot of length down low. They bounce it inside. Ball stolen away by the Tigers for the moment, but then Daly gets it back and outlets to Harris. Harris going to drive to the left of the lane. Harris all the way to the rim, up and good with the layup, and Lander's on the board at 7-2. Now the Tigers quickly want to go back the other way, and they do. Ricarte with the perimeter defense, and Tigers throw it away. Ricarte got all the way back in time after being beat down the floor, and she forces a Clemson turnover. 7-2. Lander down 5 with 6:59 to go in the first quarter of play. Harris trapped and loses the handle. Ball on the floor. Daly scraps for it. And it looks like Edwards will come away with it and give it away to Thornton. Thornton will hand it off, and the Tigers will set into a half-court offense. I tell you what, folks, both these teams want to go so very fast, and Clemson turns it over again right in front of the scorer's table. It has been a turnover-filled contest here early. Tigers have given the ball away 4 times. Landers committed 3 turnovers here in the opening 3 minutes of the first quarter, and Daly will inbound. Lander trailing 7-2 with 6:42 to go in the first period. So Starks will bring it up, and she'll run point right now for Lander. It looks like Harris will be the 2 guard, Sanders the 3. Starks weaves to the right of the perimeter and now wants to drive. She beats her man and drives up a floater too hard off the backboard, and the rebound is taken by Thornton. Here come the Tigers the other way. Lander's got to get back on defense, as Clemson has shown early. They're not afraid to throw it down the floor and try to get transition layups quickly. They swing it left side, Cotton. Cotton goes inside as they fight it to Westbrook. Westbrook gets the roll to fall. Check it, that was Hosendove, Taylor Hosendove, with her first bucket of the afternoon. It's a 9-2 Clemson lead. Starks on the left wing, looks to Coach Pedersen. She'll get the play call and swing it right side to Harris. Harris gets a screen from Ricarte and then draws Hosendove out and penetrates and gets the foul. Jessica Harris able to draw a foul for the second time this afternoon. Mylea McKinnon going to come back into the ball game for Lander. Daly will check out, and Clemson will answer with Tyler Bennett coming back into the game as Kobe Thornton will check out. So the Tigers so far this afternoon have routinely kept a pair of players both over 6 feet tall on the floor at all times, and Simone Starks travels as she tried to get away from perimeter defense. 4th turnover by Lander. .5:57 to go first quarter. Bearcats trail at 9-2. McKinnon trying to take it away from Bennett. Bennett going to hand it off to Camry Clegg, just into the ball game. She swings it left side, Collier. Collier on the wing, going to fire a 3, too strong, but offensive rebound taken by Clemson. McKinnon poked it away, but the Tigers recovered the loose ball. Now they go back inside, and a layup up and good as they got it to Collier. Collier back down Ricarte, center to the floor, and lays it off the glass and in. Bearcats down 11-2 with 5:27 to go first quarter. Starks on the right side, gets it to Sanders. Sanders looking for help, going to drive to the free throw line. Off balance, jumper up and good. Ariana Sanders buckets, and Landers cut the lead down to 7, and then Clemson travels again, and Bearcats will have the ball. This Tiger offense not able to get out of its own way here early. That's their 5th turnover of the afternoon, and now Lander will have possession down by 7, 11-4. 5:16 to go first quarter action here in Littlejohn Coliseum. Rickson Lane with you on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. They tried to throw it high inside, and Harris throws it away to Riccardi. Out the other way, Westbrook makes the layup in transition. Harris just threw it up into the lane, and Riccardi was double-teamed and never really had a chance. And then McKinnon has her inbound pass stolen by Clemson, and an easy layup, and China Cotton will lay it in, and Kevin Thurston wants a timeout. Tigers with a burst to make it 15-4. 11-point deficit for Lander with 5:01 to go in the first quarter. Bearcat basketball, the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. A 15-4 lead for the Clemson Tigers over your Lander Bearcats here in the first quarter of action from Littlejohn Coliseum. 5:01 to go in the opening period. Rickson Lane with you on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. Early on, Lander cold from the floor, 2 of 8 shooting. Clemson, meanwhile, 7 of 11. Neither team has connected on a three-point attempt in this game. Lander 0 of 2, Clemson 0 of 1. The big advantage thus far for the Tigers has been on the glass. 8-2 rebounding advantage for Clemson, including a 6-2 advantage on the defensive boards. They're led by Thornton and Bennett. Again, 6-2 and 6-4, the post presences for Clemson this afternoon. Lander's lone bucket of the afternoon, or the lone 2 buckets rather, coming from Jessica Harris and Ariana Sanders. Harris and Sanders each have a rebound in this game as well. The turnovers early have been an issue for both teams, as these are 2 clubs that will press full court, and they want to run very quickly, and it's resulted in 11 early turnovers here, 6 by the Bearcats and 5 by Clemson. McKinnon brings it over the 10-second line and hands it off to Starks. Starks with some space as Clemson backs out into almost a 1-3-1 zone defense. Sanders on the left wing looking for help, has her pass deflected and taken away. Here comes Clemson back the other way as they go in transition to Edwards. Edwards dishes it, and the shot no good, but an offensive rebound and put back for Tyler Bennett. 17-4, Tigers up by 13. Bearcats have really had trouble keeping the ball in their hands as Sanders, corner 3, off the back of the rim, no good. Fight for the rebound, and it's taken by China Cotton for Clemson. And in transition, Westbrook pumps under the basket, misses everything. Offensive rebound by Thornton, but she can't get it to go as Riccardi was there on defense. And now McKinnon weaves over half court. Bearcats have turned it over 3 times in the last minute 10. Starks, right wing, yes indeed! Simone Starks from downtown. 17-7, Bearcats cut it to 10. Simone Starks, the transfer from Eastern Washington. Lander loved to get her going. Nearly a turnover by Edwards on the right side, and then passes tipped away by Sanders and taken by Starks. Another Clemson turnover. Starks on the left side. She's got Sanders and gives it to her on the right. Sanders going to go inside Riccardi. Riccardi, turnaround jumper, no good. Rebounded by Bennett. Riccardi The 6-1 post, and then Starks tips the pass away and lays it up and in. Starks with a turnover in the lay-in, and Lander's back within 8, 17-9 now. As the Tigers try to set up to break this Lander press, they go to the midcourt logo and Bennett. Bennett trapped by a couple of guards, and a reach-in foul going to be called on Lander, and I think they're going to get Sanders or McKinnon. It's on Mylea McKinnon. That is her first foul, third team foul. Hosendove out of the game for Clemson. As the Tigers check Thornton back in. Thornton will take it to the top of the arc, send it left side Westbrook. Westbrook on the perimeter, open for three, going to fire off the front iron, and the rebound won by Thornton, and then a jump ball forced by the Bearcats. Simone Starks got in there, got her paws on it, and Lander's going to have possession. Well, the Bearcats just don't have a lot of answers for this height of Clemson, but when the ball's down around the waist, these guards for Lander, they've got active hands, and you saw it there. Starks able to reach in and take it away. They inbound to Harris, and now Harris has got a seam as she brings it over half court. Harris being trailed, and now Lander will see Clemson back off into a man-to-man type defense. Harris going to go right side, hand off to Sanders, cutting behind her on the right wing. Sanders wants to drive, pull up, jumper, rolls around the back rim, and falls off no good. Rebounded by Thornton. Thornton deep outlet to Westbrook as Westbrook goes in transition. She'll give it to Bennett. Bennett lost her footing. Sanders goes to the floor for the loose ball, but Clegg comes out with it for Clemson. Westbrook going to drive inside and throws it off of a defender for Lander. Clemson will keep the ball. 17-9, Tigers on top with 2:41 to go in the first quarter of action here in Littlejohn Coliseum. Clemson will inbound right of their own hoop, and they throw it up top. That's Kenise Purvis, and she swings it right side to Westbrook. Westbrook over to the corner. Now a drive and a jumper from Cotton, no good, short-armed it. Offensive rebound and put back up and good for Thornton. And then a whistle and a foul on the Tigers as they got back defensively. As we thought it was a whistle and a foul, saw something but never got an announcement of who it was on. Harris bounces it ahead to Starks. Starks wants to drive, kicks it to Sanders. Sanders open corner three, off the mark, no good, but Starks got the offensive rebound. Floater back up, no good, off the top of the iron, and rebound taken away by Westbrook. Westbrook gives it ahead to Purvis. Purvis going to drive left side to Thornton. Thornton with the layup. And the Tigers out in transition take another layup. It's 21-9. Outlet pass for Lander over to Harris on the right wing. Harris going to bounce it inside to Riccardi off of a defender as it was tipped away by Bennett. Tabitha Daly will check in for Lander as Riccardi comes out. Harris inbounds and throws it away. Thornton nearly got a piece of it as they tried to go to Sanders in the corner, but kept her fingertips off of it, and Clemson will have possession, leading 21-9 with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter of action. There have been 16 turnovers in this first quarter, 8 by both teams, and for the first time we see Sarah Cruz. Ariana Sanders comes out of the game. Cruz, a freshman from North Augusta, South Carolina. Thornton looking for an open Tiger. She sends it to Collier in the middle of the field. Collier being hounded by 3 Bearcats. McKinnon nearly took it away from her, but the Tigers recover, and they get it to Collier, and Collier wants to drive left side, and an offensive foul. Aaliyah Collier puts a forearm into Simone Starks, and the whistle goes against Clemson with 1:50 to go, first quarter action. McKinnon inbound to Starks, who gives it right back. McKinnon swing it left side to Harris over the timeline. Harris through traffic, nearly lost the handle and did. Taken away by Westbrook. Now McKinnon all alone defensively. And the Tigers cannot get to the basket, and then they have to pull back out and start the offense. Harris tips the pass away, trying to save it baseline and can't do it. Active hands from Jessica Harris as she nearly forced the 10th Clemson turnover of the quarter, but Clemson will have the ball as they'll inbound to our left from the corner of the floor. You know, the Tigers would love to go inside here. Trying to set a play up for Bennett. Instead, they get it up top to Collier. Collier around the screen. Pull up, 18-footer. That was a pass intended, and she throws it to Westbrook, or check it to Thornton, and Thornton had her feet cut out from under her, and a foul against the Bearcats. I thought for a minute that Collier had attempted a shot there, but it was way to the right. They were trying to throw almost an alley-oop type play to Thornton. Foul will go against Sarah Cruz as Clemson sends in Destiny Thomas, a sophomore guard from Pelham, Georgia, into the game for the first time, replacing Simone Westbrook. Bearcats double inside, and now Clemson tries to force the ball inside. 3 Bearcats in the area, and a jump ball forced by Lander. Possession arrow will favor the Tigers. Well, Lander put 3 defenders inside on the 6'4" Tyler Bennett, just trying to deny her the ball any way possible and make these Clemson guards beat them. Tigers want to go inside again, but they can't find an opening, so it goes to Collier on the right wing, hounded by Cruz. Cruz picked off by a screen. Now Collier wants to drive inside, throws up a layup, and it rattles down and in. Nice move there by Collier as she was able to get to the hoop. 23-9. Clemson up 14 with 1:05 to go in quarter number 1. Bearcats bounce it inside to Daly, and Daly jump ball, and Lander will have possession as Daly gets slung to the floor. Tigers on a 6-0 run over the last minute 17. Bearcats have not scored in the last 2 minutes, 19 seconds. As Ricarte comes back in the ball game, replacing Daly. Harris will inbound, looking for help, sends it up top to Starks on the left wing. Starks inside Ricarte at the free throw line. Kicks it to McKenneth, right elbow. McKenneth over to Harris in the corner. Harris going to weave around the defender, put up a shot off the backboard. It won't go. Starks got the rebound, and the putback won't go, but she was fouled. Simone Starks will go to the free throw line on the offensive rebound. Harris was bumped on her way to the hoop. Lander wanted a call, didn't get it, and now Simone Starks will head to the free throw line. She has been Lander's most productive player early in this one. 5 points on 2 of 5 shooting. She also has 2 offensive rebounds. 2 steals and a block as well, as her first free throw is up and good. Transfer from Eastern Washington in her freshman year. At Eastern Washington, she was 3rd in the Big Sky Conference in steals, and just the type of player that Kevin Pedersen likes to recruit for his backcourt. Aggressive, tenacious defender, and someone that can also find a way to put the ball in the hoop. Starks pounds it twice and spins it in her palm. Second free throw, nothing but net. 23-11. Lander within a dozen with 55 seconds to go in quarter number 1. And the Bearcats force a turnover. Clemson throws it away. Starks lines up a 3. Yes, indeed. Simone Starks straight away 3. And the Bearcats are back within 9, 23-14. Lander trying to get back on defense. The Tigers are off and running. Drive inside. Throw up a layup and a late foul call against the Bearcats. Once again, Clemson got out in a hurry. These two teams are almost mirror images of one another and how they want to run with the ball. And that was Camryn Clegg, the freshman from Westland, Michigan. So Clegg will go to the free throw line. 42 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Clegg, first free throw is good. Ariana Sanders will come back in, replace Sarah Cruz. Kobe Thornton checks out for Clemson as Taylor Hosendove comes back in. 42 seconds remaining in the first quarter here in Littlejohn Coliseum. The second free throw up and good. Clegg will come out, replaced by Kenise Purvis. 25-14, Bearcats trail by 11, waning seconds of the opening period. Harris takes it down the far sideline, runs into a trap, now spins away from it, back out to the center of the floor. Lander can run the play clock down to 11 if they so choose. Starks sees a lane, going to drive, pull up, jumper, elbow, too strong, and rebounded by Bennett. Now Clemson can hold for the last shot if they can hold on to the ball. Nearly turned it over, but Thomas came away with it. Thomas over half court to the right arc. Going to give it off from left side, and now they go backdoor to her. Thomas layup, too strong, no good, but Bennett went over the top of everybody and pulled down the rebound. Kevin Pedersen wanted an over-the-back call. He's not going to get it, and Clemson is going to get free throws out of that. Lander's going to be called for a foul there. Thornton came crashing in, jumped over the top of 2 Bearcats, and Lander's going to get called for a foul. That's going to send Tyler Bennett to the free throw line. With 13 seconds remaining in the quarter. Bricks the first one off the back iron, no good. So second free throw attempt on the way from Bennett. Clangs it off the front rim, no good, and now McKenneth will bring it up with 10 seconds to play in the period. McKenneth crosses up over half court, hands it to Starks. Down to 6, down to 5. Starks going to look for help. Off a screen, going to try to get a shot off. Lander's not going to get a shot off. Clemson closed out defensively, and that's how the first quarter ends. But the Bearcats are hanging around 25-14 as we head to the second quarter. You're listening to Bearcat Basketball on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. Second quarter of action underway here in Littlejohn Coliseum. Rickson Lane with you on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. Clemson leading Lander 25-14. Bearcats, their defense as the Tigers going to throw it inside and wide open and easy layup for Kobe Thornton. Thornton now with 6 points in the ball game as Clemson leads at 27-14. Starks weaves through traffic, gives it to Sanders. Left side going to try a long two, too short, and the offensive or defensive rebound taken by Leah Collier. Collier, long pass ahead to Edwards. Edwards on the left wing. Going to give it inside Thornton. Thornton at the free throw line, looking for help. Throws it high off the hands of a teammate. And the Bearcats will have possession. That is turnover number 11 against Clemson with 9:22 to go in the first half. McKinnon inbounds it to Harris, and Harris wants to send it way along to Sanders. Sanders tried a reverse layup, had it blocked, and the Tigers come away with it. It was Bennett who got a piece of it. Edwards going to drive all the way. An easy layup for Danielle Edwards makes it 29-14. Starks whips a long pass ahead to Sanders. Now Sanders wants to go inside, throws it off the hands of Tabitha Daly. Turnover against Lander. Bearcats have just not been able to get in a rhythm offensively. They're dealing obviously with the size of Clemson, and they've committed a whole lot of turnovers here early on. That's the 10th turnover of the game against Lander. Tigers bring it ahead. Westbrook sends to Edwards on the left wing. Westbrook manned up against McKenneth, around a screen, bounces it to the top of the key as Clemson works it around the arc. Now they go back inside, elbows a Lander defender to the ground, no call. And a layup for Taylor Hosendove. Sanders on the left wing. Sanders, pull up, jumper off the back rim and rebounded by Bennett. Tigers out in transition as Lander gets back on defense. I want to go inside to Bennett, but Lander clogs up the lane, so they send it up top to Hosendove. Hosendove with 15 to shoot, throws another forearm, and this time Lander's going to get an offensive foul call. Another Bearcat goes sprawling to the floor, and this time Clemson will be whistled for the violation. 31-14, Clemson leading with 8:09 to go in the second quarter. Sarah Cruz back in the ball game for Lander as Sanders heads to the bench. Simone Starks will bring it ahead and calls the play as she crosses the midcourt logo. Sanders with the ball on the right wing. Now it's Harris. Harris gives it to McKenneth. McKenneth, 7-foot jumper, nothing but net from Mylia McKenneth. The first points from Mylia McKenneth since last December. Tore her ACL in a loss at Columbus State and was lost for the season, but she's back now. And the first time we get to see her put the ball in the basket. Hopefully it won't be the last. Throw inside, and the Tigers find a mismatch again as Hosendove on the back end, able to put it off the glass, and then it's 33-16. Harris will bring it ahead as Lander sets the offense. Harris at the top of the arc as the pace has slowed considerably from the first quarter. Starks hounded closely, and the ball knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Edwards. Well, Danielle Edwards, the senior out of Perry Hall, Maryland, one of just two seniors on this roster, but she has been a thorn in the side of Lander's guards here in the opening half of play. 33-16, Tigers up 17 with 7:15 to go in the first half of action. Rickson Lane joining you on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. Starks takes the inbound from Harris, and she'll set up at the top of the arc. Starks with the ball in her right hand. Wants to drive right side. Nice backdoor pass and a kick ball against the Tigers. So that's a shame because Harris had cut baseline and Starks found her nicely. Bennett comes out and Thornton goes in for Clemson as the Tigers just continue to shuffle tall post presences into the ballgame. And the inbound pass intercepted by the Tigers as it was tipped, intended for McKenneth. They go right side Purvis. Purvis going to drive inside, throw up a shot, and gets it to fall as Mylia McKenneth will be whistled for the foul. McKenneth did all she could to prevent Kenise Purvis from getting that shot off, wrapped her up around the arms, and Purvis still threw it up and got a friendly home roll here in Littlejohn. Miriam Ricarte checks in. As Tabitha Daly will be replaced by Mylia McKenneth. Now McKenneth going to go to the bench, and Lander's going to go with two post players here. Ricarte and Daly. Free throw up and good. Check it, no good as it bounces off. So Tigers cannot complete the and one as Harris wants to go. Harris all the way to the key, sends it left side Starks. Starks going to launch a three, short, followed it and got her own rebound in the corner. Gives it off to Harris on the left wing. Harris drives inside the arc, gives it back to Starks. Starks going to bounce it to Cruz. 21 on the shot clock, 6:40 to go in the second quarter. Lander down 35-16. Cruz looking for help. So give it to Harris on the right side. Cruz cuts to the basket. Harris can't get it to her. Now Harris going to drive inside. Lost the handle. Ball on the floor. And a jump ball scenario. Lander should have possession, and they do. So the Bearcats will have the ball inbounding to the right of their hoop with 8 seconds to get a shot off. As Harris whistles and sends in the play call. Harris going to go up top to Ricarte. Ricarte hands it off to Starks. Starks with 4 to shoot. Going to throw up a long three. No good off the glass and out of bounds. Shot clock violation. It never hit rim, and Clemson will have possession. Tigers force another turnover by Lander. The length of this Clemson team has just been all sorts of issues for Lander here in the first quarter. And the Bearcats force a turnover, a trap on the back end, and nearly throw it away as Clemson taps the ball out of bounds. Harris will inbound in front of the Tiger bench with 6:13 to go in the second quarter. Cruz on the corner, left wing, looking for help, wants to throw inside Ricarte and throws it away. That play has not been open all night, as now the Tigers want to go in transition. Missed layup opportunity, fight for the rebound. Thornton comes away with it. Thornton soft touch up and good on a 4-foot jumper. Kobe Thornton with the bucket. Now Stark shakes her defender over half court. Harris gets the ball on the right wing. Calls for a screen from Ricarte. Draws the post perimeter defender out. Ricarte going to fire a jumper. Off the glass, no good. Rebounded by Clemson. Clemson wants to run, and Lander's going to get called for a foul in the backcourt. 5:39 to go second quarter, and the Bearcats whistle for their second foul of the period. Skylar Blackstock, the freshman forward out of Mount Pleasant, comes into the ball game for Clemson. Blackstock, interestingly enough, she is the only South Carolina native on this Clemson roster, as we see her for the first time this afternoon. The Bearcats, by comparison, with 5 in-state players on their roster. Clemson up 37-16 as they swing it to Edwards. Edwards going to fire a 3 and hit. First three-pointer of the afternoon for Clemson, and it comes from Danielle Edwards. Edwards with 5 points now in the game. Tigers lead 40-16. And then Starks dribbles it off her foot, trying to take the pass from Cruz. Timeout taken by Lander with 5:13 to go in the second quarter. Clemson up 40-16. You're listening to Bearcat Basketball on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. Bearcats trailing 40-16 with 5:10 to go in the second quarter here in Littlejohn Coliseum. Dixon Lane joining you on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network, and we look forward to bringing you all Homelander basketball games throughout the 2018-19 campaign on the men and women's sides. Tigers work the shot clock down to 10. We haven't seen them do that much all night as Edwards fires a corner three, no good. An offensive foul will be called against China Cotton as she crashed into the back of a Bearcat. Second foul on Cotton, second against Clemson this period. A 9-0 Tiger run over the last 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Cruz wants to drive right side, pull up, fade away, airballed it, and rebound taken by Cotton. Cotton, deep outlet pass ahead, and the layup hard off the glass, and it falls up and good for Skylar Blackstock. The Mount Pleasant native we just saw coming in the game before the timeout, and Blackstock gets in the scorebook. 42-16, Bearcats trail. Driving inside is Sanders. Her jumper will rattle down good. Ariana Sanders with her third and fourth points of the night, and now Clemson beats Lander back down the floor again, and that's a layup for Aaliyah Collier. Ricarte couldn't get back in time, and now Michelle Davis will come to the scorer's table. 44-18, Starks with the ball as she dribbles to the right of the key. Starks going to hand it off to Cruz. Cruz sees a lane and she's going to drive right side. Cruz going to go all the way to the rim and she's fouled. Sarah Cruz, aggressive drive, didn't hesitate, and she'll draw a foul, and the freshman will go to the free throw line with 3:52 to go in the second quarter of play. Sarah Cruz, the freshman from North Augusta, South Carolina. .352 to go in the second quarter as Cruz's first free throw, nothing but net. Check out, and we'll see Michelle Davis for the first time today. Davis, a freshman, center free throws, and it's 44-20. Tigers inbound to Blackstock, who gives it quickly to Thomas on the right wing. Thomas will give back to Edwards as Edwards directs traffic up top. Collier at the top of the key, swing it left side. Clegg going to pass it inside, and the pass off the hands of her intended target. She wanted to get it to Collier, and Collier couldn't handle it. Another Tiger turnover. Defensively for Lander, that has been where they've had their most success. They have forced 14 Clemson turnovers on the day. 44-20, Bearcats trailing with 3:30 to go in the second quarter. Cruz wants to throw it inside to Ricarte. Throw it away, and a turnover by Lander, and now a foul in transition by the Bearcats. Call is on Sarah Cruz. Mylia McKinnon going to come into the ball game, and Lander will also send in Quindasia Hamilton, a freshman guard out of Waynesboro, Georgia, her first action of the afternoon. 44-20, Clemson up with 3:25 to play in the half. Tigers shooting 63% from the floor, Lander shooting 26%. Clemson has gotten a lot of points in the paint with their superior height and length. McKinnon steals the cross-court pass, and now Lander with a 2-on-1. McKinnon bounces to Sanders. Sanders pump fakes up off the glass and in. McKinnon and Sanders, the two seniors, they run the fast break well, and Lander pulls within 22. 44-22 with under 3 to go in the second quarter. Clegg, dangerous pass, nearly taken by Starks, but now Edwards gets on the left wing. Euro step inside, misses the layup. The offensive rebound taken by Lander, or pardon me, by Clemson, but they're called for an offensive foul. Actually, they'll say Clemson stepped on the baseline. Jessica Harris comes back in the game as Ricarte will head to the bench. Danielle Edwards comes out of the game for the Tigers. Kenise Purvis back in. 2:46 to go second quarter. Lander down 44-22 against the Clemson Tigers out of the Atlantic Coast Conference, and a foul 70 feet from the basket against Kenise Purvis, the redshirt junior from Greensboro, North Carolina. A great showing this afternoon by the Bearcat faithful as they have invaded Littlejohn Coliseum here for this preseason exhibition. 2:40 to play in the half. Lander down 44-22. Starks with the ball at the point. Dribbles between the rings. Swings it left side. Sanders on the arc. Sanders back to the top of the key. Right side pass goes to Harris. Harris in a double team. Wants to go baseline and had the ball taken from her, but Clemson stepped out of bounds. It was Aaliyah Collier who nearly came up with a steal. The rebound deficit for Lander has been a real problem this afternoon. 25-10. Clemson out-rebounding the Bearcats. Sanders gives it back to Harris in the corner. Harris splits a double team, passes it to McKinnon, but a kick ball against Purvis. McKinnon was open in the corner, but Purvis got a foot on it, and that'll reset as Lander has to inbound baseline. Lander looking for space, can't find anybody, now has to go up top, and Hamilton snares the pass and gives it to Sanders on the left wing. Sanders passes it off to Starks. Starks picks up her dribble, gives back to Sanders. Sanders long two, too strong, and the rebound taken by Collier. Collier coming back the other way as Lander drops back defensively. Collier going to drive inside, throws up a wild pass and a blocking foul against Ariana Sanders, as it looked like Sanders had gotten in position to take the charge, but the call will go against the senior from Pearland, Texas. 4 foul against Lander this period. Both teams have committed 4 fouls in the quarter. That'll send Aaliyah Collier, the senior from Augusta, Georgia, to the free throw line. First free throw from Collier rattles down. Michella Davis back in the ball game as Sanders will go to the bench. Collier wearing a large face mask, comes down all the way over her nose. As I gotten conked earlier in the preseason. She misses the second free throw, and Simone Starks grabs the rebound. Now Starks wants to drive, bounces to Michelle on the block on the right side. Davis looking for help, fights through a double team, gets the shot off, but out of bounds on the rebound attempt. Lander will maintain possession. Well, you like to see that from the freshman. Michelle Davis went right up with it and nearly got it to fall. And a foul call against Clemson on the inbound attempt. Camry Clegg is the guilty party, and that will send Mylia McKinniff to the free throw line. Mylia McKinniff, the fifth-year senior out of Durham, North Carolina, closing in on the all-time steals record at Lander University, missed all of last season, or nearly all of last season, with that torn ACL as she makes her first free throw. She's the heart and soul of this Bearcat team. An all-conference performer during her career. She was preseason all-conference last year. Now fighting to get back into playing shape and accustomed to the pace of this Lander system. Makes both free throws, and it's 45-24. Clemson ball, 1:45 to go before we hit halftime. Thornton all the way to the rim. Charge taken by Jessica Harris, the junior guard. 5'5", Jessica Harris stares down the barrel of 6'2", Kobe Thornton, and she stood her ground, and the charge is called on Thornton. Now Starks will bring it over the timeline, gets it to Harris on the right wing. Harris looking for help as McKenna flashes in front of her, and we're going to get another foul call on the Tigers. This one's going to go against Skylar Blackstock as she had McKenna wrapped up. And now the Bearcats get back to the free throw line. This is what Lander wanted to do, get Clemson in foul trouble here with that motion and the pace at which they play, and put Mylia McKinnon at the free throw line. Lander, historically, under Kevin Pedersen, has been a very, very solid team at the free throw line as McKinnon makes her first. She's 3 of 3 from the stripe today. Misses the second one. I'll take the blame for that one, as I just mentioned how good she'd been all day. Purvis going to drive, and she's hip checked by Machella and throws up a wild shot. Machella will be whistled for the violation, and that'll put Clemson at the line. It's 45-25 with 1:30 to go in the second quarter. Rickson Lane with you on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. Lander led by Simone Starks, 10 points and 5 rebounds, as the first free throw up and good from Cotton. Tabitha Daly comes back in for Lander. Aaliyah Collier leads the Tigers with 9 points as the second free throw is no good. Fight for the rebound, and Quindasia Hamilton ripped it away from Thornton. 1:25 to go in the half. Lander down 46-25 as McKinnon lobs it to Harris. Harris on the right side looking for help. Now going to find her way into the paint. Picked up her dribble, gives to McKinnon. McKinnon straight away three on the way. Rattled out, no good. Fight for the rebound. Knocked out by the Tigers. Clemson will have, or Lander, pardon me, will have the ball as the Tigers will substitute now with 1:11 to go in the first half. Purvis will check out. Purvis replaced by Simone Westbrook. Blackstock comes out of the game as well as Tyler Bennett checks back in. So they've got Bennett and Thornton, the two tall timbers in the middle. Find a shot. They give to McKenneth. McKenneth blocked by Lanyard. Has now bounces into the block and Daly. She got rid of the ball. Work. Back in Littlejohn Coliseum, Rickson Lane joining you on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. Lander trailing Clemson 46-25 at the half as we open up the third quarter. Tigers going left to right as you're listening. Lander will be driving right to left. In the first half, the Bearcats just unable to get much going offensively as the Tigers quickly go inside. An easy layup for Danielle Edwards, found an open spot under the basket. Everyone on the roster in the first half of action. And now a turnover, and back the other way goes Simone Westbrook for the layup. Shooting nearly 60% for the game. Lander shooting 25% as Starks creates some space as she comes over half court right in front of us. Starks looking for help as Ricarte flashes up high. She'll set a screen. Starks doesn't want it. 15 to shoot. They send to McKenna. McKenna going to drive right side. Fade away. Jumper. Too strong. And the rebound chased down by the Tigers. It was Edwards that got to it. And the Clemson offense out and running now. Thornton going to pull up and try a jumper from the elbow. Rattled it down good. Kobe Thornton. Give her 10 points now in the game. She's also got 5 rebounds. As Harris gets away from pressure, she brings it over half court. Now Harris wants to go all the way to the rim. Had her shot blocked, and she was fouled by Tyler Bennett. Jessica Harris, Bearcat point guard, goes all the way to the rim. Bennett blocked the shot, sent her to the floor, but the Bearcats will have free throws out of it. Jessica Harris, junior guard from Sumter, South Carolina. First point. Check it now, 3 points after the made free throw. Makes it 52-26. Second free throw is up and good. It's inside Sanders. Sanders pump fakes and has Thornton land on top of her. Inside, Starks whipped a bullet to the left block. Amongst the tall trees, was able to pump fake, get him up in the air, and Sanders will be rewarded with free throw opportunities. Throw, strong off the back rim, and as Hosendove comes back in, she'll replace Bennett. Bearcats shooting right into the pep band here in the second half, as that's the noise you hear behind her. Sanders misses both free throws. Out on the run, left side. Sanders nearly poked the ball free, and now it's taken on the left wing by the Tigers. Drive and dish to Collier. Collier into the lane. Floater up and good. Aaliyah Collier on the dish from Edwards. Starks out in front to Harris now. Harris hesitates at the free throw line. Now backs off. Wants to go left side, but Edwards denies her. Gets it to Ricarte. Ricarte going to drive. Can't get the layup to go, but Harris got the offensive rebound. Jumper no good, and rebound taken by Thornton. Nice move there by Ricarte to get the shot attempt, and then Harris had a look but couldn't get it to fall. And out in transition, Edwards able to find a cutter under the basket. That was Westbrook, and it's 56-27, Tigers on top. Bearcats trying to get something going here. Sanders steps inside the arc. Jumper rattled out, no good. Looked good out of her hand, but it would not fall. Out the other way, Westbrook goes inside, and Sanders going to get called for a blocking foul as she stepped in front of her. First foul of the half against Lander. Denise Purvis comes back in as Edwards will go to the bench. Lander has also played a fair portion of its roster in this ball game as Kevin Pedersen has gone 4 deep off the bench as the shot is missed. Harris comes out in transition, wants to find some space, now backs out and bounces to Sanders left side. Sanders wants to go left, instead has her pass tipped and stolen. Here come the Tigers out in transition, long pass ahead, and then Clemson's going to throw it away out of bounds. Bearcats able to avoid another transition bucket from the Tigers, and Lander will inbound as Starks walks it up the floor. Starks over the timeline, Has Harris to her right. Now Harris moves out of the way, and Starks will isolate to the right side. Starks going to go baseline. Wanted to hand it off to Ricarte. The pass skips away, but Harris recovers it on the left side of the floor. Harris going to step aside, fire a three. No good. Ricarte fighting for the rebound. Can't get it. Thornton came away with it. Thornton reached in with that long, lanky frame and took it away from Ricarte. Collier goes inside. Dish it inside Hosendove. Hosendove blocked by Ricarte, and Ricarte with the rebound. Strong play there from the freshman. Now Starks gets it in transition and has it poked out of bounds. Lander will have the ball. Clemson substituting again. Skylar Blackstock comes into the game. Thornton will go to the bench. Tabitha Daly also going to come in here for Lander. As Harris inbound. Harris trying to find somebody and gets Starks at the top of the arc. Starks goes to McKenneth and gets it right back. Starks will look over at Coach Pedersen as she dribbles with her right hand. 15 on the shot clock, 6:20 to go third quarter. Lander down 56-27. McKenneth spins out of traffic, goes in the lane, and goes up to shoot and is fouled. Mylia McKenneth creates something offensively, and McKenneth's going to go back to the free throw line. She's one of Lander's best free throw shooters. Mylia McKenneth to the free throw line, the fifth-year senior, hailing from Durham, North Carolina, makes her first free throw.
Into the game, China Cotton. She replaces Simone Westbrook.
Simone Westbrook will come out. China Cotton back in now for Clemson. Second free throw from McKenneth, rattles down good. (56-29). Lander trailing the Clemson Tigers here in Littlejohn Coliseum. Rickson Lane with you on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network with 6:10 to go in the third quarter, and a whistle and a foul called against Simone Starks out near midcourt. Second of the quarter against Lander. Tigers will inbound just to the right of midcourt, and they give it to Blackstock, who wants to drive inside. Blackstock denied by Ricarte. Blackstock tried to go left side, and Ricarte just rejects it out of bounds. Second block of the game for Ricarte. 6'2" freshman from Pamplona, Spain. Tigers inbound left wing, splitting the double team, and traveling is the call against China Cotton. Took a whole bunch of steps on her way to the lane, and the Bearcats force the turnover. And Lander trailing with 5:50 to go in the third quarter. They go inside Ricarte. Ricarte drives baseline, kicks to Harris. Harris inside the arc, long two, got it. Jessica Harris, and one of Lander's best looking possessions of the night. The Bearcats cut it to 56-31. Clemson trying to inbound. They throw it deep, and it's over the head of Harris as they go inside Blackstock. Blackstock lost the handle under the rim, got the ball back. Ricarte denied her again. Another block from the freshman, and here comes Harris. She's got Daly out in front of her. Daly under the hoop, bouncing to Ricarte. Ricarte back to Harris. Harris floater in the lane, too strong, and the rebound taken out by Collier. Lander had some momentum going there as Collier lofts it left side into the hands of Westbrook. Westbrook goes back out to Cotton. Cotton, leaner, good. China Cotton drove left elbow and just floated one up, and it drops in cleanly. 58-31 now. The Tigers lead the Bearcats. Daly with the ball on the baseline, the right of the hoop, and a double team, bounces it back out to Starks with 16 on the shot clock. McKenneth skips it left side, Harris. Harris and a double team over to McKenneth. McKenneth straightaway three on the way. Yes, indeed. Mylia McKenneth from downtown, and Clemson's going to take a timeout. Lander will not back down here in the third quarter. It's 58-34. Bearcat fans on their feet as Lander will cause Clemson to talk things over. 58-34 our score. You're listening to Bearcat Basketball on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. 58-34, Lander trailing the Clemson Tigers here in Littlejohn Coliseum. The Bearcats have come out hot here in the third quarter, and Clemson had to call a timeout. They've outscored Lander 12-9 here this period, but Amanda Butler not liking what she saw, and that'll lead to a ball kicked out of bounds. And we'll go back to the benches as we go to an official timeout here in the third quarter. 4:27 to play. Clemson leading Lander 58-34. This is Bearcat basketball on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. .427 to go, third quarter action here in Littlejohn Coliseum. Rickson Lane with you on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. Lander trailing Clemson, and Harris with a steal. Harris wants to go all the way, misses off the rim, no good. Opportunity for a fast break layup, and Harris just couldn't get it over the rim. Clemson in transition. They send it out right side as it goes to Hosendove. Hosendove gets it back as now they go Collier. Collier on the right wing. Collier's been one of their top scorers in the game so far. Inside, the pass nearly lost by Bennett, and then Bennett throws it away. Another Tiger turnover as Clemson will have the ball. 22 turnovers by Clemson in this ball game as Collier comes out. Danielle Edwards back in the ball game. 58-34 our score. The Tigers slap the floor as they set up defensively. Clemson's turned the ball over 4 times in the last 4 minutes. Ricarte open left side, 3 ball, too strong, tapped out, and the foul will be called on Simone Starks on the rebound effort. Ball was tapped up in the air, and Daly actually came down with it for Lander, but Starks is called for the foul, and Lander will set up in the full court press. Collier leads all scorers with 11 points. Starks has 10 for the Bearcats. She also is Lander's top rebounder with 5. Bennett has 10 rebounds for the Tigers. She's been held without one for a while as Daly nearly stole the pass, and she goes headlong into a Tiger fan courtside. Good defense there from the post, Tabitha Daly. tried to step in front of that pass intended for Cotton. Tigers will substitute in Simone Westbrook as she'll come in and replace Purvis. Edwards will take the inbound pass and get it right back. McKenneth out on her. She gives to Westbrook. Westbrook sends it up top. It's Hosen Dove. Send it back around as they want to work inside. Ball goes to Bennett. Bennett kick it out. Edwards open in the corner. 3-ball off the iron and rebounded by Westbrook. Westbrook back up with a layup. Another offensive rebound for Clemson. They have had 11 of those on the game as they've out-rebounded Lander 38-18. Starks out on the perimeter. Wants to make a move. Instead, hands it off to Harris. Harris into the lane, up and under, bounce pass down low, Daly. Daly trying to get free. Hook shot up and in. Tabitha Daly creates space amongst the tall timbers of Clemson and makes it fall for Lander 60-36. Westbrook in transition, gives to Bennett. Bennett fouled by Ricarte. Miriam Ricarte, who has come up with a couple of blocks here in this second half, tried to get another one there. Is whistled for the foul, her first foul of the day. So the free throws will be taken for the Tigers as Tyler Bennett misses the first. Bennett now 1 for 5 from the free throw line this afternoon. 60-36 our score. Clemson leading Lander with 2:54 to go third quarter. Second free throw is good. McKenneth will inbound to Harris. Harris guarded closely, and she weaves down the near sideline, and she's all the way into the lane. Harris going to go coast to coast, misses the layup. Daly got the rebound, and she was fouled. Tabitha Daly reached up and snared that rebound, and she's going to go to the free throw line as Lander's in the bonus. Both teams are with 2:46 to go in the third quarter. Daly at the stripe. Her first free throw clangs off the back of the rim, no good. Bearcats are 11 of 15 from the line today. Clemson has struggled from the charity stripe, 6 of 13. Bearcats have actually outshot the Tigers from beyond the arc and from the free throw line, but Clemson has just gotten so many points in the paint as they're shooting at a 59% clip in this game from the floor. Landers at 25 as Daly misses the second free throw. 61-36, Tigers lead. McKenneth applying the defensive pressure on Cotton. And a timeout has to be taken by the Tigers. McKenneth forces another Clemson timeout. We'll take one as well with 2:37 to go in the quarter. Lander trails 61-36. You're listening to Bearcat Basketball on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. (61-36), Clemson leading Lander with 2:37 to go in quarter number 3. Rickson Lane with you on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network live from Littlejohn Coliseum. Cotton goes inside Bennett at the free throw line. Bennett kick it left side Westbrook. Westbrook wants to drive baseline, but Starks cut her off. Back out to Thornton with 7 on the shot clock. Thornton going to step inside the lane. Fire a 2, no good. Offensive rebound by Cotton, and she was fouled on her way up. China Cotton will go to the free throw line now. Foul called against Tabitha Daly, third against her of the day. First free throw is up and good. Second free throw tickles the twine as well. So the Tigers lead it 63-36 now. Clemson on a 5-2 run out of the break. As Starks drives inside, pass hot off the hands of Daly and tipped out of bounds. It'll actually be off of Clemson, they'll say. Harris going to inbound, bounce pass to Starks on the left perimeter. Starks picks up a dribble and has the ball kicked by Edwards. Ariana Sanders coming in off the bench now for Lander. She will check in for Simone Starks. Nice outing for Starks today, 10 points, 5 rebounds. As McKenneth will inbound up top to Harris. 2:03 to go in the third quarter. Lander trails 63-36. Harris to Ricarte. Ricarte guarded closely by Edwards. Passes it out to McKenneth left side. McKenneth wants to throw down low to Daly. Found her, and Daly for the layup. McKenneth floated it over the top of the whole defense, and Daly went up to grab it and put it in off the glass. 63-38, the Tigers lead. Edwards in transition. Edwards all the way to the paint. Puts up a layup, no good, and rebound by Daly, and Daly out in front to McKenneth. McKenneth trying to keep the ball and does, and she was fouled. Mylia McKenneth out in front of everybody, and Daly found her on the deep outlet pass, and the Lander will be back to the free throw line with 1:36 to go in the quarter. Mylia McKenneth. She's up to 10 points on the day, 3 assists, and 1 rebound as her free throw rattles around and falls off the rim. Bearcats have gone cold recently from the free throw line. Second free throw is up and good. Bearcats have played fairly even with the Tigers here in the third quarter. Clemson has outscored Lander 17-14. Westbrook goes inside to Thornton. Thornton falls on top of Harris, misses a layup, misses a putback, and then she's fouled. Well, Thornton right under the basket at 6'2", get all the putback attempts she needs, and on the third effort, she was finally fouled by Lander, and Thornton's going to go to the free throw line. Clemson has dominated the glass today, as you might have expected they would, with the size disadvantage for Lander. 42-20, the Tigers out rebounding the Bearcats. Tiger bench outscoring Lander's bench 19-2. Tigers have turned it over 22 times in this game against Lander's 17 turnovers. Clemson has been cold from the field lately. They're 0 for their last 4. Second attempt from Thornton, bounces down and in. 65-39, Clemson leads Lander with 1:20 to go in the third quarter. Sanders, open left wing, passes it to Daly down low. Daly up and in! Once again, Tabitha Daly, the recipient of a nice pass, and she finishes at the rim. It's 65-41 now. 1:05 to go third quarter. Edwards to Thornton to the top of the arc. She goes inside Bennett. Bennett, tough defense against Ricarte, and she misses. Harris gets it out in front now. Harris going to drive, Euro step, layup won't go. Fight for the rebound. Daly came down with a jump ball, and Lander's got possession. Tabitha Daly has played her heart out here in the third quarter, and Lander will have the ball after Harris couldn't finish on the drive. Harris to inbound as looks like there's a Tiger player shaken up, it appears. Looks like one of the Tigers kind of bending over at the waist and maybe trying to stretch a cramp out. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Finally, she's going to go down to a knee and laying down on the floor now. That is Aaliyah Collier. Collier looks to be in a lot of discomfort. We'll take a break. Third quarter, 51 seconds remaining. Clemson leads Lander 65-41. You're listening to Bearcat Basketball on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. 65-41. Lander trailing Clemson here in Littlejohn Coliseum as Aaliyah Collier helped off the floor, and we certainly hope that young lady is all right and that she is back and healthy for the regular season for Clemson. Pass tipped away by Thornton out of bounds. Collier's on the bench. They haven't taken her to the locker room, so that's a good sign that she'll remain on the bench with her teammates. Just a scary situation to see the young lady kind of frozen there in the middle of the floor and kind of a bent over position with her hands and feet spread apart and then slowly kind of crumpled to the ground. And the trainer's just being very cautious with her as they helped her off. Lander with the ball, 30 seconds to go, third quarter. Shot clock down to 8, and Harris is fouled on the perimeter as the call is going to go against Destiny Thomas. So Jessica Harris will go to the free throw line. This third quarter, Clemson has only outscored the Bearcats by 3 out of halftime. Lander came out with a renewed intensity to open up this second half as Harris's free throw is up and good. (65-42) our score with 29 seconds to go. In third quarter action in Littlejohn Coliseum, Harris makes both. Clemson could hold for the last shot if they so choose. Tigers will inbound to Bennett near side. Bennett gets it ahead to Westbrook. Westbrook being chased by McKinneth. Nearly lost the handle, and they get it back up top to Edwards. Edwards will cradle the ball in her right hand as Harris comes out to greet her at the paw print. Harris guarding her closely as Edwards shuffles around to the right wing and now comes off a screen to the left with 8 seconds to go in the quarter. Tigers trying to set up their offense. They're going to go inside Thornton. Thornton, kick it right side. 3 ball on the way. Off the rim, no good. And Lander holds defensively. And the Bearcats play within a point of the Clemson Tigers in the third quarter. We fourth. Clemson on top of Lander, 65-43. You're listening to Bearcat Basketball on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. We begin the fourth quarter here in Littlejohn Coliseum. Rickson Lane with you on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. Glad you've chosen to spend your Sunday afternoon with us. Lander women's basketball on the road against the Clemson Tigers, and the Bearcats trail by 22 as we open up the fourth quarter. Lander played Clemson to within a point in the third quarter, 19-18, as a three-pointer no good, and Ricarte with the rebound. Lander wants to run. Starks on the right wing, whips it near side. Harris tried to save it out of bounds and does, as the Bearcats will have possession. It bounced off of Westbrook. Ricarte and Tabitha Daly in the second half have looked the best they've looked all night long, as Starks picks up her dribble. Had an open look at three, instead gives it off to Harris. Harris top of the key. 15 seconds to shoot for Lander. 9:28 to go in the fourth quarter. McKenneth on the left side, over to Starks. Starks inside McKenneth on the left elbow. Picks up her dribble, kicks it right side. Harris, check it, Sanders wanted to fire a three, had it blocked, and the Tigers come out and then lose the ball out of bounds. Sanders and McKenneth race back and poked it free. Clemson will maintain possession. Tabitha Daly in the game as Ariana Sanders comes out. 9:15 to play. Lander trailing 65-43. Edwards with the ball up top. On the right side to Daly. Send it around to the left. Thornton, baseline jumper. Bounces off the rim, no good. Ricarte tipped it free. Ball is loose, and Clemson comes out with it. Thornton gets it back, now fires a fadeaway. Well off the mark left side, and Starks rips down the rebound. Interior defense for Lander has been a lot better here in the second half, as McKenneth takes it on the right side. Hesitates, now backs out with the ball in her right hand. That left leg with the sleeve down across the knee, as McKenneth coming off that ACL injury last year. Motions for Starks to take the ball with 8 on the shot clock. Starks wants to break down Westbrook. Starks trying to get free. Hands off to Harris. Harris going to fire up a floater. Off the rim, no good. And a long rebound taken by Westbrook. And now here comes Clemson the other way. Westbrook into the key. Blocked by Ricarte. Got her own rebound. Puts it up. Still can't get it to fall. And the ball out of bounds to Lander. Again, the Bearcats very tough inside. And the Tigers unable to take advantage of a turnover by the Bearcats. Bennett going to come out of the game now, as Hosendove checks back in for Clemson. Starks near side. Going to bounce it out to McKenneth. McKenneth will bounce left to Starks. Over to Harris. Harris gives it back to Starks as the Bearcats working around the arc. McKenneth fires a jumper in the corner, and she was fouled. Leah McKenneth to the free throw line now, the redshirt senior from Durham. Team's leading scorer today with 11 points. 6 of those have come from the free throw line. 1 rebound, 3 assists, and 2 steals for McKenneth. And she makes her first free throw. Jonna Collier comes in for Clemson. Simone Westbrook will check out for the Tigers. Second free throw from McKenneth. Nothing but net. It's a 20-point ball game with 7:49 to play. Harris going to be called for a reach-in foul. Oh, that's a ticky-tack one against Harris on the near side. First call against Harris of the day, and Edwards will inbound from the near sideline. Inbounds to Hosendove, and Edwards gets it right back. Ball cut right side. Now, Tigers will cross it to Edwards in the corner. It goes to Bennett on the block. Back right side. Collier going to line up a three. Rimmed out, no good. Ricarte boxed out and got the rebound. Here comes Harris the other way. Harris left of the lane. Harris going to go all the way. Now kick it back out. Ricarte. Ricarte. Jumper good. Miriam Ricarte from 15 feet. And the Bearcats are within 20. It's 65-47. Tigers inbound up to half court. They want to get something easy. Thornton on the right wing with Harris in front of her, and Thornton didn't try to drive against the point guard. They kick it around left side to Thomas. Thomas on the arc. Pass it inside. Harris tipped it away. Bearcats are on their feet. Lander has come out strong in the second half, and they're actually outscoring Clemson here out of halftime. 65-47, Lander has cut this to an 18-point game. Pass goes inside Hosendove against Daly. Hosendove tied up, throws up a wild shot, no good. Daly got the rebound. Quickly out it goes to Harris. Harris, right side, stutter step, and has it poked out from behind. Out of bounds, Bearcat basketball with 6:50 to play. How about these Lander Bearcats? They trailed 46-25 at halftime. They've outscored the Tigers 22-19 in the second half, and Lander throws it away as McKinnon stepped out of bounds in the corner. Cheap turnover there by the Bearcats. It's their 19th of the game. Clemson has been turned over 22 times. Long outlet pass ahead to Collier. Collier takes it over her shoulder with Harris trailing. Throws it left side, Edwards. Edwards picks up the dribble and gives it away. As this will be Clegg with the ball up top. Clegg hands off to Edwards. Edwards into the paint. Stutter step. Up and under Ricarte for the layup. Danielle Edwards having herself a nice day with 9 points now to go along with 3 rebounds. Starks hands right wing to Harris. 6:20 to go in this one. Lander down 20. Harris into the key. Gives it off to Starks. Starks way too long on the three-point attempt, and Thornton gets the rebound. Now Thornton's outlet pass ahead to Clegg. Clegg out of the line, and had a Tiger fan rush out on the field. Someone's program got knocked out of their hands, it appears. Collier going to drive to the free throw line. Throws it down low to Thornton for the layup. And Thornton was operating against the 5'5" Harris, and that's a mismatch Lander can't do anything about. 69-47. Bearcats down 22 here in the fourth quarter against the Clemson Tigers out of the Atlantic Coast Conference. Bearcats, 4 straight trips to the NCAA tournament in Division II, 3 straight Peach Belt Conference tournament title game appearances. Harris with 9 on the shot clock as they'll reset. She'll back out to midcourt. Wants some help off a screen. Steps inside the arc. Got to get it off. Starks going to fire a 3. Off the front of the rim, no good. And a long rebound traced down by Hosendove. Hosendove on the left side. Drives all the way to the free throw line. Kicks it left. Collier thought about a three-pointer. Instead gives it back off to Edwards. 5:05 to play in this one. 69-47 Clemson lead. Collier left side. Open for 3. Got it. Collier open from the left wing, and nobody was out in front of her. That makes it 72-47. Bearcats with the ball with 4:50 to go in this one. Clemson on a 7-0 run in the last minute 34, and an offensive foul called against Lander. It'll go against Simone Starks. Kevin Peters will take a timeout with 4:44 to play. Lander trails Clemson 72-47. You're listening to Bearcat Basketball on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. 72-47, Clemson leading Lander here midway through the fourth quarter in Littlejohn Coliseum. Rickson Lane with you on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. And we remind you, basketball fans, if you want to get a little postseason soccer action in your life, we'll be live from Van Taylor Stadium on Tuesday night for the Women's Conference Tournament quarterfinal, the second-seeded Bearcats against seventh-seeded Georgia College. Jump ball call, and Lander will get possession back. Bearcats have been very, very tough here in the second half. Bit of a scoring drought at the moment. Their last bucket came with 3:02, or 3 minutes ago, rather. Edwards checks out. Westbrook comes back in for Clemson. Starks will take the inbound from McKenneth. Starks, McKenneth, Daly, Ricarte, and Harris out on the floor. Starks dribbles with the left hand at the top of the arc, gives it to Harris right side. Harris immediately double-teamed. Now Clemson backs out of it into a man-to-man. Harris on the right side with 13 to shoot. Gives it to McKenneth on the left wing. McKenneth with a little bit of space as Clemson tries to shield her towards the baseline. McKenneth, 7 on the shot clock, kicks it left side. This is Harris. Harris wants to go baseline. Reverse layup up and good. Hello there, Jessica Harris. 72-49. Lander back within 23, and then blocking foul called against Harris. Like Clegg threw a forearm at her a couple times down the floor, and they didn't call it. And then Harris whistled for a blocking foul. And Clemson will inbound with 3:50 to play in this one. Collier wants to drive left side, had it stripped away from her. Mylea McKenneth took it away, and it's knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Lander. McKenneth and Daly were in the area with active hands. And then the inbound pass stolen. Harris takes it out of the paint and wants to drive left side. Cut off baseline to Ricarte. Ricarte, soft floater, no good, and the rebound taken by Bennett. 3:25 to play. Lander down 72-49. Tigers swing it right side. Collier, 3, good. Collier left open on the right wing, and she's hit 2 3-pointers now in the ballgame. Harris on the right wing passes up the 3 look and gives over to Starks. Harris wanted to take it, but Kevin Pedersen wants to run the offense here. Bearcats need to get some reps in. Obviously, this game important. Both teams want to win, but you want to get good practice scenario in a very game-like environment. 6 on the shot clock as Harris takes it in the corner. Back to Starks. Starks with 4 to shoot. Starks going to step back, fire a long 3. Rattled out, no good. Westbrook with the rebound. 2:40 to play. Clemson up 75-49. Westbrook gives off to Hosendove. Hosendove steps around Ricarte, drops it in cleanly. Hosendove, a nice little step to get around the Bearcat center. 77-49 now. Back over to Harris, and then Harris traveled. 12-2 run for the Tigers over the last 4 minutes, and they've hit 5 of their last 6 shots from the floor. Clemson able to put a little distance between themselves and the Bearcats over this last little stretch, despite Lander has played very well here in the second half. 2:20 to go in this one. It's 77-49. Westbrook brings it up the floor against Harris. Westbrook passes it up top. Taken by Cotton. Cotton with plenty of space. Skips it left side, Westbrook. Westbrook into the paint. Throws up a floater with the right hand, no good. Offensive rebound, put back up and good. That was Hosendove. Under 2 to go, 79-49. Harris fires a 3 right side. Too strong, long rebound. Harris saved it and throws it off of the Tigers. Jessica Harris, great hustle play off the missed 3-point attempt. She crashes into the Clemson cheerleading section. 2 substitutions for the Tigers. Kenise Purvis and Skylar Blackstock into the game. Westbrook will come out, so will Bennett. Likely the last we'll see of them today. Minute 48 to go. Harris in the corner, weaves through a couple defenders. Floater right hand, not strong enough, but Daly got the rebound, then had her shot blocked. Hosendove comes out with it and wants to run. Weaves left to the lane. Lost the handle. Now McKenneth comes away with the ball. 90 seconds to go. Up ahead, Daly. Daly, layup good in transition. McKenneth found Daly out in front, and the Bearcats cut it to 79-51 with a minute 20 to play. Clegg, give to Hosendove. Hosendove goes left side, Purvis. Purvis, skip past right side, Clegg. Clegg, open, 3-ball on the way, good. Camry Clegg with the 3-pointer, and it's 82-51. Clemson here in the last few minutes suddenly catching fire from beyond the arc.
1 minute to go in the game. 1 minute.
Starks off the screen from McCartay. Starks drives inside. Nice drive from Simone Starks as she gets to the hoop and lays it in. 82-51 to play with 51 seconds remaining. Harris, McKinnon, Daly, Starks, and McCartay on the floor. Harris trying to get out there and play tough perimeter defense. Blackstock nearly lost it, gives it to Hosendove. Hosendove going to go inside and gets a friendly roll as the ball bats around the rim and finally drops in cleanly. 3-second difference between game and shot clock here with 26 seconds to play. Lander down 84-53. Harris, baseline jumper, way too strong. Another rebound for Daly. Daly's putback attempt won't go, and rebound by Blackstock. And Clemson can just run the clock out here if they choose to, and it looks like they may do that. Purvis will dribble at half court, 10 seconds to play, and Clemson will back out, and that's going to do it. Exhibition game will come to an end as Lander comes into Littlejohn Coliseum, and they fight valiantly against the Clemson Tigers, and they will fall in this one 84-53. Will be your final score. We'll step aside when we come back. Post-game reaction from head coach Kevin Pedersen. That's on the way. 84-53, your final. Clemson over Lander. You're listening to Bearcat Basketball on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. Back inside Littlejohn Coliseum, your final score, Clemson over Lander 84-53 in this preseason exhibition. And we're joined now by the head coach of the Lander Bearcats, Kevin Pedersen. Coach, your team comes out in the second half and keeps this game within 10 points, 38-28. What changed that you saw over the final 20 minutes?
Well, these games are tough because you have no film. You got a brand new coach, so there's no film to go back on last year, see what they're going to do. So we learned some stuff at half, and I thought we were able to make some adjustments at the halftime as far as what we were seeing from them. The key was just taking away. They kept running some similar plays, some backdoor stuff, some lob stuff, and we tried to take that away at halftime to come back and say, listen, just keep them off the boards. Take away the transition layups, get your butt back in transition, take away the shots they're getting on the offensive boards, and if you can take those things away, they were not shooting the ball well. Their offense was basically transition and offensive rebounds. So we just tried to put the focus on that. Now, with that said, we're a small team. We lost our starting 4 and 5 from last year. It's going to take some time to get that going. We made the call at halftime to come out and start Miriam out there and give her a chance, and boy, did she have a tremendous second half. So it's tough. At the end of the day, especially me, this being my alma mater, you want to come out and give it everything you got. And but at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's about those young ladies in Lander Blue, and they fought hard. I was proud of the effort in the second half right there. So we'll see. We got a lot of work to do, but the good thing is we learned some things today that are going to help us with that.
Ultimately, what does this program get out of a game like this, coming into an ACC arena and seeing what a Division I caliber program looks like for 40 minutes?
Well, I think physicality above all else. So there's nothing we can do in practice. Our game is built on speed and transition and pressure defense. There's nothing we can do to simulate their strength, their size, and it's good to come out in a game where it doesn't go on your win-loss record and you get pushed around a little bit. In that first half, we were just out-muscled, and we were getting the ball, we're falling down on the drives, we're getting pushed around on the rebounds. So that, above everything else, that's the best thing we can take out of today is that repetition, that practice. So hopefully when we go play Lenore Ryan in the first game, it helps us get ready defensively and offensively to handle that type of pressure.
That's head coach Kevin Pedersen. Exhibition game under wraps. Lander falls to Clemson 84-53 here in Littlejohn Coliseum. Thanks for joining us. We'll be with you for Tuesday night women's soccer action, the Peach Belt Conference quarterfinals here on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. Have a blessed evening, everybody. We'll talk to you Tuesday night.